Hey guys, welcome back. In the previous video, I showed you guys how to edit your bash settings. The file is .bashrc, so I showed you where that was. It's in your home directory. And just gave you a brief overview of that because customizing bash is one of those things that you can spend many hours doing because you can fine tune it so much. But during the course of that video, I did give you guys an alias as an example of a customization to make there. And I was planning on making an alias video further on down in the series, but I figured why not just do it now? Because, it's fresh in your mind. I showed you an alias in the previous video. And maybe you might be curious why that matters, why you'd want to do that, and if there's any other aliases that might be beneficial. So that's what we're going to explore in this video. All right, so back on my laptop here, we, in the previous video, created an alias for clear. So if I do ls and then I type the word clear, it clears the screen. But what happens if I type C and then enter? In my case, it also clears the screen. Why is that? Well, I mentioned in the previous video, but I'll do nano.bashrc. That's, again, the configuration file for bash. It's in my home directory. And you'll see if I scroll down, in my case, this is obviously going to look a lot different than yours. After all, mine has 156 lines in it. But I'm going to go down to the sections here where I have aliases, and we're going to see a bunch of the ones that I have here. But we're going to see this one right here, alias C equals clear, which is the one that I gave you guys. And that's why I'm able to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out. I can just do C, enter, like I just did, to clear the screen and put the prompt there back at the top. So already you're probably seeing the benefit. By creating aliases, you can create short commands that just basically do other things. So by making an alias that's just C, I could press C and then enter to clear the screen where normally I would type the entire word clear. Now to be fair, you could do Control L and it clears the screen. You don't need an alias. It's just a dumb example, but it is an example that's effective. It shows you why that matters. And aliases allow you to create powerful commands, and it saves typing because maybe you have a command that's almost like an entire sentence long. You could shorten it down to just a few characters and do that same command, which will save you a bunch of time. Now what you can actually do is type the word alias just like that with no options and then press enter to have it print out all of the aliases that you actually have in your terminal. So I'm going to run an alias I think is pretty useful. It's called speed test in my case. This won't be in yours unless you've added it, but I'll press enter. Let's see what it does. We can see right away how useful this was. Now, honestly, this particular speed test isn't all that accurate, I find, but that's not the point. The point is that here, you can see I have an alias, that's speed test, that simply gives me a speed test. It actually tests my internet speed, so that's pretty awesome, but how and why does that work? So I'll type alias speed test, which will show me what that alias is. And right now we can actually see what that's doing. Now, some of this is beyond the scope of this video. For example, it's using Python, and I'm not going to go over Python in the series. I have an entire series dedicated to that. But you can see what my alias is. It's actually running this command right here. Curl, it's just going to basically retrieve content from a URL. The URL is this Python script right here, and it's going to redirect that to the actual Python interpreter. Now that, again, that's beyond the scope of this video, what all that's doing. And I certainly don't recommend that you use curl to curl a script to a interpreter, which could be a security disaster. But this is just an example of creating something very useful with very little effort. I mean, could you imagine anytime you wanted to run a speed test to type that every single time? I think it's easier just to type speed test. So effectively what that allows me to do is create my own commands, and I can simply type speed test and it does exactly what I mentioned. So how do I remove an alias? Let's just say for whatever reason I just want to delete this one. I don't need it anymore. I could do on alias. On alias will remove an alias, and you just let it know which one you want to remove. I want to remove speed test. I want to get rid of that. So I'll press enter. I get no output, but if I do alias speed test again, it's a command that's just not found because I deleted that one. It's no longer there. Now this is actually part of my bash rc file. So when I close the terminal and reopen it, I'll get this command back because bash rc is read every time I open a new terminal. And if you remember, if I do nano.bashrc, if I scroll down, you can see on this line right here, I have alias speed test that basically sets that up for me every single time I open a new terminal. And you can see some other ones here that I use in my day-to-day, and I haven't maintained these in a while, but we basically have another one, alias weather. Well, what does that do? So let's check it out. And my font size is quite large because I wanted it to show up well in this video. But we can see what the weather is in my neck of the woods. That's just a way to get the weather. Now, you can't normally get the weather in bash. That's not a feature that you get. So what I did, I just added an alias for weather, which is simply curl wttr.in. And that effectively does the same thing, but I find weather is easier to remember, so I have the alias for weather. And let's check out a few more. So I'll give you guys some of my favorites that are in mine. And what I'm going to do is type mem5. I like that one quite a bit. So I'll do mem5 and press enter. It's, again, wrapping here because the text is so large, but it's giving me the 5 processes that are using the most memory on my machine. Similarly, I could do CPU 5 and get the same thing, but this is basically showing me the 5 processes that are using the most CPU. How does that work? Well, here's how it works. So I'll show you the alias. So here's CPU 5. And we can see what the command actually is for that. And because that's in my bash RC, every time I open a new terminal session, that command will be created for me because otherwise I would not have a CPU 5 command. Similarly, we can see what the mem5 command contains. And you can see here that it's just basically doing a PS, which is a process command showing you running processes. And I'm redirecting the output of this command. That's what the pipe symbol is. It's just going to redirect whatever this shows here. Is going to redirect it into the sort command, which is going to sort it for me. And then it's going to redirect that into the head command. And the head command shows you the first few lines of a file. I want the first 5 lines of whatever the output there is after it's sorted. So basically you're seeing command chaining here, which is very common. You have a command, and then you redirect it into another command, which takes the output of this command as its input here. So this sort command takes the input here that came out of this one, does whatever it does, redirects it. The head command accepts that, and then shows me the 5 lines. Now you don't have to know what all this means because that's something we can get into later. But the point is, aliases are awesome because you can create your own commands, any that you see fit. And again, here's mine. You can go ahead and pause this if you'd like to. And you could certainly steal some of these. Some of these may not be relevant to you, but I have some commands that I really like. I'll scroll up a little bit because I have quite a few. I have the install command. So when I'm installing a package, normally in Ubuntu or Debian, you do sudo apt install and then the name of the package. I simply just do install, press space, then package name. That's all I need to do. And anytime I type install, it's actually typing all of this, just save some keystrokes. And it doesn't even have to be Ubuntu or Debian based. If you're using something like Fedora, CentOS, you just change the command accordingly. And then now you have an install command. We have H for history. And then one of my favorites is extip, which I'm not going to run, but basically it just gives you the external IP address. If you're curious what that is, that will show it on the screen. And there's going to be quite a few that I have here. So again, pause the screen if you want to steal any of these, and you're simply welcome to do so. My aliases are the result of me scouring the web trying to find these. I can't really take ownership or anything of any of these. These are just ones that I found, and I don't even know where they came from, so I'd like to give credit to whoever out there created some of these, but I can't because I didn't do a good job keeping the names. So I don't want you to think that all of these are original. Some of them are, but most of them are not. But you get the idea. You can create your own commands with alias, and then anything you put in your bash RC for alias will be applied anytime you start a new session. That basically wraps it up for aliases. My favorite thing to do is basically go online, just do a Google search for bash aliases, and every now and then you find something super clever, and then you just have to make that part of your own bash RC so you can take advantage of that. In my case, I have quite a few, and maybe you like Mem5, CPU5, or any of the others that I have, and feel free to put those in your configuration and then customize your shell. So in your bash RC file, just go ahead and put in some of those aliases there, and you should then be able to take advantage of those. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. Go ahead and let me know some awesome bash aliases in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to hear those, and maybe I might borrow some of those and put those in mine as well. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate each and every single one of you guys. You guys are awesome. So stay tuned. I'll have more videos in this series very soon. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. If you want to help me out, make sure you check out the description below this video, where you'll find links to my latest book, Mastering Ubuntu Server, 2nd edition, as well as my Patreon page. If you like this video, be sure to click that like button and share it on Twitter or any other social media network. And be sure to subscribe so you'll be the first to see my latest videos as they're uploaded. Thanks again.